Hey everyone, how you all doing today? Welcome to SEO This Week, episode 184. Looks like I forgot to change the stupid uh, countdown screen again. Damn it, I always do that. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. This is episode 184, and today I got some stories I want to show you that I think are pretty interesting, some decent articles that people have actually published this week. I found them early on. Most of them, in case you guys don't know, most of the stuff I find actually on Twitter, people sharing and reading that stuff. I tried to use like some of the tools like Ahrefs Content Explorer, and stuff like that. It just, those things bring up so much junk, because if you ever done a search for like a SEO kind of thing inside of one of those tools, it's just so much trash in there, and it's really annoying to deal with. So hopefully though, get you some decent news along the way. As always, the chat is turned on, so if you have anything you want to blab about, ask questions about, etc., you can go ahead and ask in the chat and we will get to them. And also, it's a good place for you guys. It gives me a heads up in case my audio turns off for some crazy stupid reason. That's been known to happen around this wonderful show. As always, the links are in the description of YouTube, and you can get them on the Facebook. I'd like to welcome all the Facebook peeps. Hi, Facebook peeps, and the Periscope. If you're on Periscope listening to, hey, welcome. Thank you for joining. I will say that today we're going to start off a little bit abnormally. You guys know I don't like to promote a lot on this show. I mean, I eat a lot, like, buy my stuff, but I do have some obligations and I got some bills to pay. So I want to go ahead and knock that out and just kind of tell you about some stuff that's going on in my world that makes me money and hopefully provides you some information that's worthwhile. So with that, first we have SEO Rockstars. If you guys don't know, or I'm sure I've talked about this over and over again, but SEOrockstars.xyz, the link is in the description. That's my affiliate link, or you can go to SEOrockstars.us as it shows here in the browser. It's sponsored this year by ODYS Global, SEO Nitro, SIA, Digitaleer, and What Ranks. Three of those happen to be mine. And we got a good list of speakers this year. This one in particular, Mike Long, Eric Brief, and Michael Tessalona. They're going to talk about actually building an agency out and some things that they did to make some money, in particular during COVID. And just a little bit teaser on that is Eric and Michael actually were testing some stuff, and they wanted to see if their systems worked during COVID, and they started an air conditioner business, like SEO agency, and are already making $50,000 a month during COVID. So they're going to talk about their sales process, what they did, and how they achieved those goals, and that's really cool. Some other people of note, Brian Dean, Matthew Woodward, Perry Belcher, Jerry West, Ryan Stewart. Hopefully Jerry West can show up. He's getting some kidneys done or something like that. Old people problems. Dixon Jones is going to be there from InLinks. Carolyn Holtzman, Bill Hartzer, Robert. He's going to be talking about CRO. Terry Samuels. He does SEO spring training. He's kindly, we teamed up with them last year when COVID hit, and all of their users are going to be on the live stream as well. Moon's going to be there. Ted, obviously, Keith, Marty, Marion, Matt's going to come in. We're going to talk about some sales stuff. Lisa's going to be there. She's going to talk about some sales stuff. Elizabeth's going to be there talking from a web designer developer perspective on SEO stuff. Mike and Brad from NFG SEO are going to be there. They're speaking together. Craig Campbell and Dina Gomez, Leon Sheed is some sales stuff as well. So we have a really good mix of, here's some how to do SEO, and here's how to do advanced SEO, and then here's how to actually make money from all of that the hard ass work that you're doing. So I think it's going to be I'm excited about it. The schedule's here. We're running it for 4 days now. Originally it was 3, but we got some 4 days going on. And you can come check out the schedule and please sign up. Again, it's SEOrockstars.xyz. The link is in the YouTube description, or you can go to SEOrockstars.us. It's up to you. And please sign up today. As I mentioned, this is our sponsor for SEO Rockstars. It's a great business, and you may have heard Craig Campbell talk about them a lot. I've talked about them in general, and truthfully, I haven't even used their service yet, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And the reason why I wanted to pop this out today is because there's an opportunity for you guys to save some money, especially if you want to want some help with building an affiliate site, or you want some help finding some good domains for PBNs, or you want some help finding some good domains to build your alternative streams of income, i.e. new affiliate sites or whatever. You know what I mean? These guys are hands down the most knowledgeable, and Alex Drew is the guy who runs everything over there, but they'll walk you through finding the domains, picking domains, building the site, getting the site like kicked off for you, all of that stuff for a decent amount of money. And then later, if you want to, you can actually go around and talk to them, and they'll help you sell the websites after you build it all up. All that is awesome. So when you take all that value and then you add that to the fact that on November 27th, it's a 50% cash back. So anything you buy over there, you're going to get 50% cash back as part of their Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. The pricing, as I'm told, it kicks in on the 27th of November. And then the Black Monday, it stops on the 30th. Looks like, yeah, on the 30th is when it closes. So anything you buy on the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, you get 50% cash back. Now, as obviously, I just want to be straight up front. I read the fine print, and that cash back means it's credit on your ODYS global accounts. So you buy $1,000 worth of stuff, they'll put $500 credit in there, and then you can go buy another $500 website if you want to with the credit, right? So kind of think of it that way. That's how that's working. There is no limit. So if you got 100 grand, you're going to get 50 grand, 50 grand of credit. And then you can go buy 50 grand more websites with it. That's killer. That's a killer deal. It's a killer option. So please don't miss out on that. And I think that's it for my, shameless plugs, right? Yeah. Yep, that's good. So remember, SEO Rockstars, ODYS Global. Check both of those out today, and leverage that. On the topic of ODYS and buying expired domains and stuff, I think I've talked about this before, and I'm not sure, but I was working for Over the Top SEO. You guys all know that, right? So. And I ranked that website everywhere, pretty well. And then at the end of the day, life happened, whatever, business stuff changed, whatever. And we had to go our separate ways. So what that taught me is something that I was already preaching it, is have multiple streams of income. And if I had not had those multiple streams of income, I'd be in dire straits right now. So ODYS Global will help you, especially if you're nervous and you're scared and you want to start an affiliate project, but you don't have a whole lot of money to invest and you want to invest in it wisely, starting off with a good affiliate site that's already pre-done for you, or starting off with a safer domain name that people who live, breathe, and die buying domain names have actually gone through and filtered for you and checked out and verified. That's kind of the best option for that. So that's one of the main reasons why I share ODYS Global. Forget that they're sponsoring SEO Rockstars for a minute and just think of it from that perspective. is ODYS Global is going to give you a head start from domainers when selecting your domain name. So there isn't any guessing. Like in my world as an SEO, I buy a domain name. I have relatively decent experience with buying domain names, but I am nowhere a guy that lived, breathed, and eats, sleeps, and drinks domain names and purchasing domain names and valuating domain names. So having some people like ODYS Global in there is actually really, really helpful. Okay, news highlights this week. Ahrefs came out with a new tool. I don't want to say it's this week. I think it was the week before. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but it's an interlinking tool. So you go in there, you plug in your website, and then boom, it'll tell you where you need to work on interlinking, some interlinking opportunities, and all that stuff, and even kind of the keywords. There's another tool like that. It's Inlinks. Dixon Jones has Inlinks. It does a pretty good job, and I think there's Link Whisperer. I tried Link Whisperer. I wasn't really a big fan, but the article that I'm sharing with you is actually how to turn that interlinking tool into something that you can use to find keyword cannibalization, it's really handy. However, I will say, if you look at it, the process that the guy is using, he's just using a new tool to do something that you can do with a Screaming Fog scrape or a site audit from Ahrefs, and just look at the site audit and look at the same data, and it's there. So it's not really like fancy, but it was actually a really good write-up, and it's just the way I liked, because he looked at a tool and thought of a different way to leverage it versus this is what we're promoting this tool for, and this is how you should use that tool, right? Okay. Next is a people also asked tool, which I think is really, it's kind of fancy. So basically what you do with that tool is you put in the keyword that you're looking at, and you want to, you'll do a search, and on that search, it pops out a mind map for you, which is really awesome. So let me switch. I'm going to switch over. I don't do this very often. So here's the term I just threw in there, and you hit the search button, and then you get this, right? So a couple of uses for this. One, let's say you're doing a content hub or a silo for all those people that don't like to reinvent new names. You're making a silo, and you have your main app, your main keyword that you're going after. Here's your supporting pages. It's already built out for you, and it's kind of built out in tiers, don't you think? So you have your main page, your tier 1 internals, your tier 2 internals, and your tier 3 internals. Ta-da! It's done. So you just write content for all those things, and now you have this like super duper content head. Kind of fancy. Or another example use of this that I saw is you have all these questions. You put all these questions kind of in this order. These are your first 3, your next 5, and then your last blah, blah, blah on a FAQ page. And then that FAQ page ranks for all of those terms in one way or another. And it just on its own, it brings in traffic and stuff and relevancy. And then you can link that out to your main money page. So this could be help you create a one of your supporting content pages, while at the same time bringing in a whole lot of traffic from multiple keywords. So 2 awesome uses for this tool. That it's free. It says it's in alpha. So still working, but it's actually pulling in from people also ask versus the answer the public. It addressed answer the public. It's also pulling in from people also ask, which to me is way more valuable than the answer the public data that you get. So I hope you check that out. Let's see. Wireframe SEO is the next story. If you've never been with a developer or a good web designer, You talk about what you want to do with your website, and then they build a wireframe for you. Essentially, all it is a black and white outline of your page, right? And then talking about, hey, we're going to put your video here, put your content here, your sidebars, all this stuff, so that when you give it to when they give it to you, you have a good picture in your head of what the final product's going to be right off from the bat. And they're really stupid easy to make. As a matter of fact, I actually prefer making those in advance to dealing with dealing with the pretty stuff. You know what I mean? We get that done, and we know what the client wants, and we kind of know how we can direct our designers by using this wireframe. This application here is actually doing one better, and then outlining on your wireframe your SEO elements and that need to be there, so that when it comes to design, your designers are already thinking about, headers, for example, and how many you need, and where your CTAs are, and all those, SEO considerations. You can put them all as part of your wireframe right off the bat, and save yourself a whole lot of back headaches, especially when it gets to the development stage, where you got some developers who like to use header tags for everything. My logos in H1 now. What the hell's going on in here? You can get ahead of that by addressing the SEO stuff in the wireframe. So when you pass on the wireframe and the final design to your web developer, they can look at those two and put that stuff together right off from the beginning and save yourself a lot of trouble. So look at this, look at his post. You can take the SEO recommendations for what it is, but just think about, how can I apply that, and how can I turn some of that fancy software that inevitably, I'm sure all of us have a wireframe tool somewhere sitting on their computer that you can actually turn around and use for this process. And it's, to me, I think it's kind of killer if you get really good at it, and as part of your prospecting, outline, like, take the wireframe, make a wireframe of your prospect's website, and just drop some things in there so that they can visually see what you're changing. Because as we all know, SEO work is kind of like 75 to 95% behind the scenes, and clients don't really pick that up. And you've probably spent like 30 hours of work on them, but they don't see any of it because it's code and you're changing some minor things and stuff like that. And if you can use a wireframe to point that out, you might have a better time actually closing the client and giving them a better understanding of what you're doing. The search intent article is actually pretty good. If you're looking at, we talk about commercial, navigational, branding, and informational. They're looking at it in this post actually looks at it in the same way that Google does. What do I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to buy? That kind of stuff. And if you look at it from that perspective, and then this author is actually doing a really good job of looking at the featured snippets and the elements inside of the search to tell you not only how to reverse engineer it, but to kind of leverage what the data that Google's giving you in helping identify search intent. So it's a really good write-up. I kind of like it. I left some of my own little minor notes inside of my post. You'll see could have been written better, could have been formatted better, but all in all, I like the idea of it. And then finally, this says Chrome SERP Vitals is actually an extension. There's a Chrome UX API that will bring out the core web vitals data for websites that are popular enough. Not every website's in there, obviously. I don't even know what the threshold is. Do you got to get 1 million visits a day or a month or what, a quarter to be worthy of being in that API? That might be a good indicator of authority, by the way, if they're tracking you in there, they care enough about you that they're tracking your core web vitals. But the long and short of this tool is it pulls in the data from the top ranking sites for your Google search, And you can look at that and see if you have any work to do. Like, are you close? If you're close, go for it. Then you probably spend your time somewhere else, right? Versus page speed optimization. But if you're totally knackered, you will probably want to fix your page speed optimization, and you'll get to see good results from it. So that's the stories. Again, there's some tools in there too that probably help you out and work a little bit better with everything that's going on in your SEO company or your own business. All right. So with that, are any questions on the stories, on the articles, on the tools, on any of the bullshit that I just spewed out? Any questions? And by the way, I've been watching Chris Palmer's show, and he has this god awful ugly bucket of water that he's drinking. I painted mine apple yellow. Kind of looks like I'm drinking like a gallon of pee. Pretty interesting. So I figure if Chris Palmer's famous and he's drinking water all the time, I should bust out some water. All right. So let's talk about beer. Beer would be good too. Totally looks like, and I know, Mike, it totally looks like a big bottle of piss, but you know, it tastes really good. So, and it's good for you. All right. So more water, more views. Hey, there you go. I think that's it. I think that's the trick. I think that's why those guys are kicking my butt. All right. So the topic for the day is job post schema, and I want to go into how to write job post schema. And for the Google algorithm, I'm going to say it really slow. How to write job posting schema. And what the reason for that is, one, there's Google Jobs. You can leverage that. And then there's some features that will help with, I don't even know if I want to say that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You can actually use this to generate some really good interest to your business from people that are looking at, what does it say? Like if you're trying to capture traffic and it's semi-targeted traffic, you can actually create job postings. And there was a method that you can use job postings as part of your do this to qualify for the job that would help you manipulate auto suggest. So, and then finally, Google just got tired of Indeed and on Monster.com and all those sites actually making money. God forbid someone else makes money other than Google. And then they made Google Jobs. And then the job posting schema became way more important in the grand scheme of things, as it were, for Google and for the Google Jobs thing, because you can populate that and start getting some more traction and traffic from job seekers. There are a couple, there's a couple douchebag things that you could do with this, like creating job schema to get traffic but not actually have jobs, or create job schema to get traffic and not collect these resumes, like a smart business owner who's looking to grow. He grows a nice base of resumes and then emails them back and says, thank you. We filled the position. We're maintaining your resume on file for the next quarter. Should we need to fill it again based off of growth, right? You do that and provide some feedback to people. And I think it's kind of makes you less of a dirtbag. Where today, if like my son and his fiance filled out, 100 applications and like 0 people, they don't even bother to get back at you. So if you're going to use this method for traffic generation, etc., then don't be a douchebag. Just kind of reply back to them and give them some feedback so they're not waiting and sitting in the desk. Be someone that stands out. That way, when you do call, they remember that you weren't a dick and might want to work with you. And you can steal some good talent that way who may otherwise necessarily find the job and you don't necessarily pay more, but they know you're not a douche. they might actually kind of jump ship and come over and help you out, right? So keep those resumes that you're getting. So with that, I want to go over the writing job posting schema. And if you guys have never been over to What Ranks, you go to whatranks.com courses. In the schema course, I go over a lot more how to build this stuff out. But I chose job posting schema because it's actually one of the easier ones to illustrate some fundamentals that you can apply to all of your schema, not just job posting schema. So there's a page. Go check it out. Go check out the course. So here's the schema we're looking at: job posting, based off of schema.org specifications. A word of note: schema.org specifications and Google specifications may or may not always be the same. So if you're using a tool that I've recommended over and over is Sitebulb, it is mixing the Google schema API return with the schema.org API return, and that's how it's coming up with all the errors and messages and all that madness, right? So if you're using it and you want to take the consideration of Google completely out, and you want to write a good schema based off of what schema.org says, so that everyone, i.e. the Bings and the Yandexes and the DuckDuckGos can all read that too, then use depend on the Sitebulb stuff. If you're just going to write for Google, and pretty much the most part Bing is kind of right on track with what Google's doing, then use the structured data testing tool in there. So that said, there's all these little extra things in here that people kind of miss out a lot of. And what happens is the schema that they output is pretty much standard. I want to say subpar. I'll say standard. And what that means is, if you're using a tool like Technical SEO's tool here, it's really good starting point. But if everyone's using this level of schema, what happens is you end up all meeting the same standard. Now, if you have all met the standard and there's no one standing out from the standard, you've therefore negated the value of writing SEO or schema in the first place. And that applies to all schema, not just job posting schema. If you're all using only the schema that's inside of Yoast.com, Yoast plugin, for example, everyone picks on Yoast. They have probably the best schema there. But if there's 5 million people using Yoast schema, it's the standard. No one's setting out, because Yoast doesn't allow you to actually optimize your schema in a much better way. And right now, the only way you can do that is a schema app and dealing with that UI. And you need 3 weeks just to learn how to use that stupid tool, much less implementing the schema and entering all your data and all that crap. Or you can just learn how to handwrite it and save yourself a whole lot of trouble. So we're going to handwrite this schema. And in order to do that, let's just... I'm just going to go through with you right now, and we're just going to knock it out. Okay. So if you have questions, I have a separate chat window that's set up. I can see the chat. If my sound goes off or whatever, jump up and down, let me know. But if you have questions, go ahead and ask while I'm doing it. I know there's a delay in the streaming and stuff, but I will pause and catch it up. So without further ado, we're gonna go for it. So to the job title that I'm using this one to start off, because it's just, why not, right? Why work smarter, not harder? So here we go. SEO, go search engine optimization testing specialist. And my identifier, you can make this up. So this is go SEO testers. And job description. Let's go. I'm going to use this one. As an example. And you can do this on yours too. You don't have to be like stupid creative with stuff. It's schema. It's kind of in the back end, right? Let's see. I'm going to use this right here. Oop. And we'll go back in here. And back here. Fix their grammar because I want to. This small group of blah, blah, blah. When you join the SA testing team, you get access to these studies and training on the latest SEO testing applications that will guide members and business owners to higher rankings. We also support these things, blah, blah, blah. We pay a $100 per test fee. Per test, pay a $100 per test. We pay, I'll just leave it, $100 per test. That's real, folks. We do pay $100 per test. So if you want to test with us, can join scientific or real world application. I remember the testing SEO testing team. Okay, so there you go. I am not going to stuff this because I actually did some tests, and the algorithm is trained to kind of ignore the job posting schema for everything except for Google Jobs. So you don't really have to worry about getting into that. Intelligence agency. And you know, you don't have to worry about doing that, getting into that, just because for what was I going to talk about? From a keyword stuffing or entity perspective, if you've seen any of my other talks about schema, you can use it to rank for more stuff, right? In this case, since Google, we know for a fact Google is ignoring this, then we don't really have to, you don't have to kind of do that. This because it's more of a traffic play or actually getting people play. So I would, think about it from that perspective. And I'm just going to do, it's a year. It's a remote job, right? The salary or minimum salary. Oh, I'll go 100, and then we'll do 1,500. Actually, I want more traffic, right? So I'll do 6,000. Currency. You have to be careful with currency because for some reason the US dollar is kind of messing that up. We pay on the monthly basis. You can do, this is more stuff, right? So you're going to manage SEO campaign. Let's see what else. Keyword research. Tabulation. Put that in there. That seems good enough. And I want to do keyword research, on-page optimization, link building, because we test link building, HTML, JavaScript. I'll do JavaScript, CSS, qualifications, English speaking, no, basic SEO, standards, and desire to explore. Desire to explore. It sounds fancy. Okay, so all right, so we're there. Education requirements. Let's go. What should we do? Let's have a certification. It's completed. Completed. SEM Rush. Nah. Who's got a certification out there? Those gay ass certifications you can buy. Ooh. Craig Campbell. SEO training. With certificate. That's funny because people are crying about certificates because he doesn't give them. Let's see. Experience 2 years active SEO campaigns. Affiliate SEO experience. Econ SEO experience. And what else? Oh, local SEO experience. There you go. Okay, so now we got this pretty decent schema, don't you think? It's right out. It's built out really good. It filled all the blocks, and we're happy, and you know it. And we go over here to the testing tool, run the test just to verify everything is good. As you know, this one's depreciated, but this one's still catching up. So I like to kind of run both just to make sure that I'm doing good with it. With the mobile only index coming out here in a bit, might as well just get used to running that structured data testing tool on the smartphone and be done with it. There you go. I'm eligible for snippets. So far, so good. Next thing we want to do is actually run this over to to something else. And I want to show you this one, Sublime. All right. If you guys have never used Sublime before, it's a text editor. It's better for this kind of stuff than, say, a BB Edit. Notepad++, I haven't really tried out with that because I don't have it on Mac. I use it on my Windows thing, but I don't actually know about it. Does it have all these little cool guy features and stuff? And as you can see, I switched it over and now I cleaned up some of the code in here a little bit better. So I want to go back and make sure that I copied this correctly. Yeah, it's because all that stuff's highlighted. So I'm just going to copy it here. Yep, I have to clean up some of this stuff. What is it missing? This is why I like it though, because we can clean out some of this mess. Let me do this. I want to try something. No, it's going to make me do it. All right, so what I'm looking at, and I don't think you guys could see that far down. It's not going to let me scroll. I'm going to switch to the display. There, you guys should be able to see it all now. I was hoping it would let me scroll down because you can see better into it. But when I paste that over into the IDE, which is what Sublime is basically just helps you write the code and stuff. You can see that it's not standard JavaScript. So I'm going to clean up some of this stuff because, that's just how I do. And I'm going to fix some of this madness so that it's actually becomes standard JavaScript. And you'll know as you get on to writing your own schema and stuff, you're going to see kind of this issue again and again, especially when it comes to what you're doing with schema and how it's, how you build it, etc. So if you get like a process and you get a tool that you kind of can learn and love to use, it makes all of this easier because as you see here, I'm actually able to fix all of those errors that most people would be fighting with just by following the color coding on Sublime, which makes it so much better, so much easier. If you watched Chris Palmer the other day, he actually was doing a live stream. I think it was like 2 hours long by the time I actually got into it. And some of those tools, some of the stuff was actually, kind of kicking his butt because he wasn't, he was doing the stubborn, it's like the guy asking for directions kind of thing. I don't want directions. I'm going to find it on my own. That was Chris just. And if you're using an IDE or some other tools, it might have had a whole lot more luck with it. I won't say luck because he wrote a really good schema, but he might have had an easier time with it and better illustrate what he's doing and how to fix it. So as you can see, this IDE is actually making things a whole lot easier. And I don't have to chase commas. I don't have to chase, am I missing my quotations? Do I not have closing brackets where they need to be? All that stuff, right? So I need to close this. I need to close this. And I need to close that. And you notice this passed, right? This passed in Google, which is kind of, weird. I think I deleted something. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm gonna go here, and go here, and there. All right. That. And we're gonna have to fix that. I can tell you right now, we're gonna have to fix that. There's something missing. What's missing? Come on. Oh, this is missing. There we go. Ta-da. All right, so there we go. Let's see. When he used that in it, I'm horrible in front of me, Jason. Those people, yeah, you're probably like me. Like, I want these stupid, you know what I mean? I want these over here, so I can actually read it better, and it's just, it's just so much more enjoyable when you clean this mess up, and it's not a whole hodgepodge of crap. Let's see, but there you go. So that's the working version. Now we look over here and you go here, and what we want to do is look for just some different things that we can add in here to kind of make it better. Now, again, I've tested this keyword stuffing. That's the description everyone wants to use, but keyword stuffing doesn't work for organic racing with job postings, but it may help you in the Google Jobs stuff. I didn't test Google Jobs specifically because I don't have a jobs page on the SIA website. So we're going to pretend like it will help us rank higher inside of Google Jobs. What we're going to do is add some more stuff. And here's experience requirements, education requirements. What did I put? Education requirements we already got. Next one, eligibility to work requirement. We can put that. Let's get eligibility to work requirement. And since I'm adding a new line, I need this. I'm going to put eligibility to work requirement. I'm going to leave it broken for right now. Employee overview, description of the employer. So we can put that in here. I don't think I have it. Scanning. Nope. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm leaving it broken on purpose. Employment type. I think we got that. Full-time. Salary we got. I kind of remembered that. Experience we got. Incentive compensation. This is handy. Let's put that in there. Industry. I think I got industry. Yeah, got industry. Job benefits. Do I have job benefits? I don't see it. Job location type. I think I got that because we put telecommute in there. So let me verify. Yep. Job start date got occupational category. That's one that we don't have. Let's see. I'm going to verify just in case. Nope, don't have it. Physical requirement, just so we can have some fun. Qualifications, we got relevant occupation. I'm not going to put a whole occupation because that's a whole sub schema, and I don't like doing it unless I really have to. Let's look at responsibilities. Do I have responsibilities? Yep. Security clearance, don't need it. Sensory, don't need it. Skills, I got skills. Yep. Special commitments. I don't think I have that. Pretty sure I don't. Title we got, right? Yep. Total job openings. This is important. Valid through work hours we got. Now, these are the ones that everyone misses. These are the generals. No matter what schema type you're working with, you can use these with it. So we have description. We need disambiguated description. Identifier is already got. Image. Do we have an image in here? Nope. So we can put an image in there. Main entity of page. Put that in here. Name. I think we got a name. Title, description, identifier. Nope, we don't have a name. Potential action. Don't necessarily need same as. We can use same as in here sometimes. And then the URL is in there, right? Job post description, identifier, hiring, organization. Yeah, why is the URL not in the standard format? Ah, that's retarded. Yeah, it's here, same as. That's dumb. All right, so that's how I took that and combine it with that to make it much better. Let me change the view. I'm going to word wrap. There. Hopefully you guys can see that better. Do I need to zoom in? Let me see if I can. I think I tried this before and it didn't work. Do one more. All right, you guys should be able to see that better now. Here we go. All right, disambiguated description. This is really cool. We're going to take this and we're going to go over to this because I don't want to have to think of a new description. And we're going to do this. And I am going to just delete this and paraphrase. I have an account over here. I just don't want to log in. And this. There we go. Disambiguated description is done. What you can do with that one is you have your normal description and then you disambiguated description. You can actually write two completely different versions just to target some different things. So let's go like in description. Let's do local. So in description, let's say I had a Phoenix SEO. In disambiguated description, the variation that I would have is Phoenix, Arizona SEO or SEO in Phoenix, Arizona to kind of capture some different variations of the keyword. And you can use a disambiguated description to knock that out. That's really at the end of the day, that's kind of like the power of that particular thing. Next is the image, and I need a comma. And we're going to use, just any old image off of this page. Is this an image? Looks like it. Copy image address. Yay, it worked. Main entity of page. You can actually go sub that. You can do type and then name and then value if you want to, or just kind of do it the lazy way that I'm getting ready to do it right here. That's really up to you. And name SEO tester. Strategic SEO tester. Because why not have a cool guy title like strategic SEO tester? Same as, we're going to do some same as stuff here. And what can we do for same as? Let's go to topical relevance. And I'll start here. I tried to show this to Chris the other day, and he ran the tool, and he's kind of just scrolled down to the semantic keywords, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second once this populates. He scrolled down here, and he was doing what he was doing one by one using this information. And I was in this chat like, God, scroll down, scroll to the bottom, scroll to the bottom. And when you scroll to the bottom, there you go. All that stuff is right there. It's all existing for you. All this stuff that he was trying to build was kind of already there, right? So you can use this in a web page, or you can use the same as. And what we're going to do is, because the way that it's populated, I only really need, because I'm already doing the URL, so I'm not going to create a whole new type thing. Actually, I think I could. Let me try that. Why not test you guys? Let's do same as. And I think I can do this. I think I can do that. I'm not sure. I'm going to test it out because all we have to do is this here. And I need my join SIA URL. And I need this. Nope. I had to have that. Eligibility requirements, incentive overview. Do I need to go over this? I've been going quite a while. What the hell? I'll just keep doing it. Eligibility requirements. All SEOs welcome. Employer overview. The SIA team is the greatest ever. But they do believe that stupid should hurt. How's that? Incentive compensation. You get paid by the volume of your work. If you want to be lazy, do one test a month. If you want to pay your bills, do 20. There you go. Let's see. Job benefits, because we're having fun now. And it's not a real job, right? You get to work with the greatest SEO ever. No. Lies. Occupational category. I can actually use two here, right? So let's go with marketing and digital marketing. There you go. That should work. Let's see. Physical. What am I missing? Oh, comments. There we go. Special commitments. Must complete at least 2 SEO tests a month. Let's see. Total job openings. It's an integer, so 10. And then I'm done. It should be good. So we're going to test this just because I'm curious if I can carry that over. That's going to be awesome if I can do that. And I might have to recode something. Yeah, I bet you that's what is messed up right there. That's a JSON formatter error. That's the end of that. I think I have extra. Yeah, that's a guess. That was a bad guess. So we're going to go here. This is another tool that I was trying to show Chris. It's JSON formatter process. When you come in here, ignore this one. Ignore that as an error for whatever reason. It just doesn't get it, right? It doesn't understand what it is. But you can come back in here and find some more errors. You don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Special commitments. I got an error there. Where is that? There it is. Physical requirement. Must be able to breathe without the assistance of a reminder. There we go. So I fix that. And then that is done. Scroll A, Control C. And scroll A, scroll B. We're going to retest it. Read the elements. That's it. So that's good schema. Why is this open, blah, blah, open, close, close? Where's the open for that? Right at the top. There's the open for that. And then that is that. There should be the comma there. Yeah. So that's right. Like schema wise, that's right. But Google doesn't like it. Why does Google not like it? And if you see what happened, it added an extra set of quotations around there. Not supposed to be there. Come on. Boom. There you go. All right, 19 errors. Things not a valid type, same as blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we can't do that, but we can kind of do something with it. And I want to do it in here just because it's easier. So I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. This, 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 this. Do, 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 do. All right, I don't need that. I need that, and I need that one. So I don't need these. You guys can probably see what I'm doing now, right? Hello. Jeez. Chris Labatt, he actually tested, and I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I say it differently every time. So it's Chris Labatt or Chris Labate or Chris Labatt. But that Chris guy, he tested the difference between the ranking value of these the wiki links versus the ranking value you get from the Google MRIEDs. The Google MRIED URLs, which are these doohickeys right here, I can't highlight them because it screws it up. Actually brings up the fast-based machine-ready readable ID element inside of a search result, and those tested rank, like the Google bot that runs search knows it better than what the Google knows what it is versus what the Google NLP API returns, which is the wiki links. So I figured since those tested better, why not have both? Because the NLP API is returning X, but the Google bot is seeing Y and rewarding it a little bit better. So why not have both, just to kind of make sure there's no issues with it. I want to talk to you, Pablo Rosales, and if you guys know Pablo, he actually makes SEO tools, and he is going to, I want to talk to him about actually making Productology and DP Media, I think is the other one, automatically, and so that you can have these lists already popped out for all of them. Again, as I said before, I've tested job posting schema. It doesn't really help with rankings, but it may help with the increasement of your the increasement, you like that word? I made it up. The increase of the exposure of your job posting inside of the search results, which would actually be really cool. So what I did is, you see, same as search engine optimization. Here's the knowledge graph for SEO, knowledge graph here for Google search. Here's the knowledge graph for web search engine. These are all those things that are related to what my topic is about. So if you were building this piece of page for SEO testing inside of a tool like Phrase, Cognitive, SEO, Surfer, whatever your fancy is, you're going to get a list of known topics, and those are really, that's where this stack came from. That's how to leverage those topics inside of your schema. All right, so we have all that stuff all built out, and you can see my version versus this. Which one do you think the Googlebot would actually appreciate more when they read it? Which one do you think actually says, hey, Google Jobs, robot, whatever you're running, this is the relevant job for that search? It's the one that's giving it more data, right? Especially when you're talking about feeding the beast, the machine AI. If you're not talking schema and the application of entities and knowledge graphs, at the same time spewing out your trash about machine AI and AI and BERT and thinking that you know what the hell you're talking about, you don't, right? So you need to be talking about schema at the same time that you're having those conversations about machine readable AI stuff, because those bots, those tools are cool. They can spit out some great stuff. They can read and they can understand and they can compile their data set and make them a whole lot better. But you doing schema, feed those bots a whole lot at the same time. You know what I mean? So your schema for any piece of content is feeding what that thing is about, and is feeding the bot what it's about, and is feeding, and the machine is actually learning better. And you're doing that with schema, and because you are the teacher, you are rewarded a whole lot better. And that's kind of the whole point around that. If you look at this is the schema for just this episode for SEO this week. I have breadcrumb schema that is implemented using SEO Press Pro, because I hate writing breadcrumb schema, remembering my categories and all that crap. That's all in there. And then here's my article schema. It's all busted out. And I got keywords, it teaches, citations, is part of, has part, abouts, mentions, let's see, knows about. It's all tied in, and it's working for related terms for the episodes. Even if if I forget about a story and I forget about the topic, it's addressed in my schema. So it goes and it helps rank that thing. And then also what it's doing is actually the person schema is actually being used by Google. So when you come in here and type your name in here and click on images, it gives you a list of entities that you're associated with: link building, marketing, digital marketing, automation, YouTube, discussing schema, SEO, Butler discussing, actor for this one dude, schema, Digitaleer, schema course, schema ranks, Newfoundland banking, theater. That's just all this guy. And I'm getting all of that. I'm taking over all of those just with schema and building the person associations inside of there. So if you are not running schema and you're not writing it out and you don't know how to write it out, or you don't have your own templates that you've gotten from somebody, you're just using a plugin, you're setting the standard, but you're not really doing as good as you think you are by meeting the standard. You need to exceed that standard. And Terry's heard that before too. He's an old Navy guy. I'm old Army. Meeting the standard is great. Exceeding the standard is how you set yourself apart from the rest of the crowd. So that's what we're trying to do with schema. So let me go into questions. If you guys have questions, let me know. Let's see. Good stuff as always. Let's see. Mike Sale, I'm using it now with custom fields for service to use one custom special service product and a web page schema with all the universal schemas kicking butt. Yep, that actually is a good application. What Mike's talking about, and I'm not going to assume because I can't read minds through text, is that he's talking about topicalrelevance.com, and you use this web page schema, and basically what you're saying is this page is about all these things, and it mentions all these things, and these are all the entities that are coming back from the Google NLP API, i.e. through TextRaiser, and this Google MRIED URLs is a new thing. I actually talked to Joe Priest. He's the one that made this, that actually that added it for us. And I think it's really cool. If Pablo is listening, hopefully he's still around. With your tool, I kind of want the same thing, but I just want a list. So I want a list that says, here's the, and you probably use it for TextRaiser to feed it, right? I'm not sure. I'm not a dev, so smarter people do that. But here's my entity. The NLP API will give us this. This is the knowledge graph API. You can get this. And then Terry Samuels is there. It's productology, right? And then productology is the other one, and DB media. So if I can get all four of those URLs for the name thing, that'd be awesome. So Pablo, if you're listening, and you're talking about making some tools to help feed the data for SEO or for schema, that'd be a good use of it. I'm not sure if you could pull it off, but I know that the DP media and the productology is really just changing, is taking this and then throwing it onto their particular URL structure, because they pull it right off of Wikipedia. But what we're looking to tie that in. I want to make absolutely no mistake that this is the topic that I'm talking about, and this is the entity that I'm addressing. And you can do that with those URLs. All right, let's see. And you have two brackets of the same as. I need your help, Terry. And it's doing good. So that's job posting schema. If you want to, again, I'll put this template inside of what ranks under job posts. If you want to get my templates, you go to whatranks.com, buy the course. If you're going to do a group buy of my shit, at least buy it. Don't share some of the whacked out crap that you're getting on getwso.com. Come on, help me out. Help a brother out. Got to pay my bills, yo. And hopefully that helped you all. With that, and how I'm looking at schema, how guys like Dixon Jones and Terry Samuels, Chris Labatt, and myself are taking schema to the extreme. Not so much Dixon Jones; he just got a fancy tool. But Terry Samuels and I, and we go out in the weeds. We share stuff, and we kind of play the one-upper game to see what else we can add to our schema to make it even that much more crazy. And I'll give him one, and then he'll come back with one upper, and then I'll go back and one upper his one upper, and having someone to bounce that the schema types off of is actually really, really good, and you can build a nice set of template decks for any project you might run into. So that's the key. The next week, I want to actually go over a new schema. And I was thinking, if you guys are listening, SEO Rockstars will be over with by then. Remember, join SEO Rockstars.xyz. Join into that. There'll be speakers all day, and then Terry Samuels and Saltera is sponsoring the Remo after hours. So we can't all meet and drink beer or whiskey or whatever your liking is, or Coke, whatever. We can't do that in person anymore. So Terry and Saltera are sponsoring the Remo, and that will allow us all to kind of get together after hours in groups of reasonable people, like 6 each is, I think that's what the tables hold inside of there. You can just hang out and bull and talk about the presentations of the day, or share ideas and all that stuff, and try to at least get some of the benefit of being at an event that would otherwise be missed. I'd like to thank Terry for that too. So, on to next week. After that is over, I want to do more schema stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to give you everything that's in whatranks.com, because that's, why give something away for free that I'm charging for? Duh. But I want to actually do helping you guys out on your websites and actually doing schema for you, or working with you on and updating yours, and kind of just giving you a third-party perspective. Maybe you built out some super killer schema and you just need, maybe there's something that I can think of that you didn't think of, the kind of thing, right? Or you can teach me something about your schema. So if you want me to write the schema for your page, I'm going to do something like Chris Palmer did. Go watch his latest video. He did a live stream. I'll probably do that too, just because schema takes some work. But hit me up either in on the Facebooks. Leave a comment in the YouTube that you have a site that you'd like to do schema for, or you have schema for, and I'll try to, or I will reach out to you before the show. I'll get all your site data and stuff together, and we will write the schema for that particular use, whether it be an article or a product or whatever. We'll write that use case for that schema for your page. I think that'll be a good show. I know Chris got a lot of traction off of that. I enjoyed it, and I don't sit back and watch a lot of people code very often. So I actually watched Chris mess around with it. Let's see. Mike Sale, what about taking a site that exists and doing a schema audit? That'll work, Mike. The problem is, like, if you've ever gone through the search results, there's not really a whole lot of people doing much really good in the way of schema. Like, they're going after the rich snippet stuff, right? So we can do that too. If you have one that you have written out, Mike, and you want like I said, a third party perspective, maybe you miss something that I can catch it, then I'll certainly do that too. I have no problem with any of that. Either way, we're probably going to add some stuff to the schema, right? So why not? I'm definitely open to that. Okay, so an hour and 21 minutes, my longest show in quite some time. I appreciate all of you all. I thank all of you for joining me. I'm looking forward to hopefully talking to some of you if you got picked up the SEO Rockstars. Don't forget our great sponsors at ODYS Global. They got that Black Friday sale coming up. Go get signed up. Go look around, go shop around, make your list, and then you can tag that all up on the 27th through the 30th, and kind of do a 2-for-1 thing. So I'll see you all next week if I don't see you at Rockstars. Bye, everybody.